We saw some of the Southeast Asian teams do safely in Kunka though. This is very interesting. But the Sven pick is definitely for the presence of the Dark Lord. They're trying to counteract the minus armor. But I think we need to bring Halbert back here just to get his thoughts. Mr. Halbert, like what's your take from this?
I mean, if you really just want to hear something screaming illegibly into a mic, then that's probably what you're going to get. I have nothing to offer that you guys couldn't have said before me, but I really do think that we're on the precipice of an amazing series, an amazing journey that, again, is reflective of everything that we have done this year. It is so important that we reach this point, and that may seem strange, like, but only 2 teams have reached this point. Only NG in since 5 years. That's a filthy lie. It's, again, every moment that you played against someone who played against someone who played against someone who played against a Dastum in a pubby. Like, every single moment that you as a high-level player got trashed by Castaway mid, whatever it was all of those moments combined that reach this point. And, oh man, I can't tell you enough about how much I love this game and how much I love this moment where we set the stage, right? Because the drafts are great. I mean, I'm a draft guy. I love drafts. I mean, B, you love drafts, right? Give us a nod. There we go.
I want to hear B's last thought though before we.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So before we say goodbye, we're gonna go into the game in just a moment. B, what's your final thoughts on the matchup?
Who's got the better draft? Who do you think's gonna take us this game?
On board.
I kind of agree. This silencer with Ember is a pretty scary thing. Like, just Ember can jump in freely early on. Silencer just presses global, and Ember's free to kind of like kill a target and get out.
So, yeah, I mean, is there a core performance you're looking from an individual? I mean, again, I'm gonna be a little biased towards B's opinion here because, well, we've got to say goodbye to him in a minute. But B, is there an individual you think could change the entire outcome of this game 1?
The Adestam versus Castaway matchup, Paul. Like, we've been praising Adestam this entire year of how he stepped up this game and the player that he's like grown into, that he's gotten even better. And then Castaway decided, hold on, they're calling Adestam the best mid in SA. I'm not playing off lane anymore. I'm going back to mid. So
I mean, I'm kind of
pretty sure that's the only reason they did a role swap.
I mean, let's abuse the fact that we have an XT player for a second. I mean, do you have any insight on how Junaid feels when he plays against either these 2 players? Did he ever say like, "Oh no, it's a Dastum," or "Ah, Castaway," or is he just like, "We're gonna crush this guy"? Like, what's the insight?
That head hurt.
He's so humble, man.
I mean, I was waiting for this kind of like, no, stomp him.
No, Junaid says he's gonna crash this guy. He's not that good.
All right, fair enough. I mean, yeah. So obviously,
B's not going anywhere though. He's gonna join us again afterwards. So.
Yeah. So just so you know, yeah, fair point. If you're a XD fan, if you're a BE fan, or whatever, if you're just a Dota fan, to be fair, I mean, this man will. It's very unlikely that you're good enough for me not to teach you something. That's the honest truth. Sorry. Not sorry. Don't at me. So the good news is he will be back throughout the entire broadcast. So make sure you don't go anywhere if you want to hear some insight from, one of the best players in the country. But okay, so Adastum, obviously, I agree, right? I think that Adastum has been one of the core performers for the side for a while now. I think he was a core performer in the previous iteration. I think he was a core performer in some of the community events that have happened throughout the year. I think a lot is on his table. But let me ask the 2 of you. I mean, Castaway is kind of, man, like, one of the things I'm most proud about, like 2 of the things I'm most proud about in my career, which include many Dota 1 wins, mind you, right? But give credit where it's due. Some of my most proud things are simply being affiliated to a team that included RDK and Castaway. So what's it like? I mean, you both have had to play against them. What happens? Like, what is going through your mind when you're in that position? Let's start with you, Not a Hero.
So I just remember my mid always telling me like, hey, listen, like he kind of starts keeping counts, like I'm 10 CS behind, can I get a gank middle? And with the caliber of teams that Castaway is in, they always kind of preempt that, and then when you make that rotation, he's always only kind of back at his tower, or he's getting help. So, but that's also his expertise on the game, and it's my mid is the mids that I've had, and I've had some good mids, Sparkles being one of them. It was always an uphill battle from the laning phase. The man is extremely.
Matt, before we go live, last thoughts, last words.
Your admiral is on board.
Alright, well, thank you so much, Tom. We'll see you after game 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that is, of course, time, though. As much as we despair to say goodbye to one of our best, we can rejoice because game 1 is online. Sinister 5, Energy Esports, for everything that matters in 2021. The most critical of games, in a way, because it will set the pace of everything to come. Game 1. Sis 5, Energy Esports, EGL 1, Season 2. Let's go! Not a hero.
Get my things ready.
Let's make sure we don't miss anything. Important things. Go through your list.
The first thing I want to see is where the Shadow Fiend is going, because like I kind of called it as a safe lane Shadow Fiend when the pick came out, because it's today, and if someone's going to do that, Adam is probably the player that's going to do it. So I want to see if Deppy's taking this Kunkka mid, or oh no, he's going bottom. So Southeast Asian teams are running this Kunkka mid. Brain did it the other day as well. They played Kunkka in the safe lane. The hero becomes an instant damage burst with kind of like a big ulti, and this SF is. I don't know what build he's going to go, but I think he's going to go more of a right-click build, and Deppy will be the utility here. And that's what kind of stands out for me, because they picked the Sven to counteract the Shadow Fiend. It's like, it's the minus armor, like, it's minus 7 armor at max level. Warcry gives your team a bonus 15 armor. It actually puts it in the plus. So that's why the Sven pick came out. They thought this was going to be a right-click Shadow Fiend. Sven is trying to buff up his team and survive. But
was that like a play from them? Were they kind of baiting it out, or was it just a response? What would you have done?
MD plays a lot of Sven. Like, it's one of his best heroes. But I think they thought that this was going to be a safe lane SF, and the Kunkka's going to go mid. So they just picked the Sven to try and counteract it because of the right click damage. But Shadow Fiend does really well against Ember. Like, really well. 2 levels of raise, he's going to start bullying this lane, and you're going to see Castaway having to kind of do seesaws on this lane. Going to have to consistently. The lane's actually doing that now. Like, this back and forth is exactly what Castaway wants. I'm
sorry, can't geek out. Sorry, I'll let you finish, right? I'm gonna pull my Kanye West moment, but like, I see a moment say like, damn, like how cool Castaway versus Aston mid in a grand final of the year. How does it get better than this? Like, oh man, that's cool.
It's the two best mid in our countries. It's not like one of these mids are, and taking nothing away from Junaid and them as well, but like looking at performances this year, these are the 2 best mids in the country at the moment. There are some people on their heels, but
let's like go there for a second, right? Like you mentioned Junaid, right? Because in my mind, this is an individual that we need to keep watching out for, right? But today, it's the most iconic one. First blood, maybe? No? No, you're getting me excited, man. You can't fuel this fire.
I don't want you to anything, man.
No, you did good. You did good. Keep me there. But like, I'm just saying. Oh, mid lane! And that's a good. What the hell? Castaway! That's against another play. Not acceptable. Not okay. Ooh, man. What? Like we were just talking about how important this lane is, and here it is. Castaway opens up with first blood. Solo kill. Welcome to the finals. Nothing should be taken for granted.
Lane is missing.
He doesn't even have a Blackstone. No, how did he get that kill?
I don't care, it happened! No, here, forget logic, forget the analysis for a second. It could be that simple, right? Like, this could be game 1, right? Decided by the fact that Castaway has an edge, right? It could be that close, that simple edge.
It's a play. Like, hold it. Normal Ember Spirits, Flame Guard in the lane. Oh, because Shadow Fiend's raising me, I need to protect myself. Castaway has decided, I'm maxing up my damage. This is the 100% correct play when you're doing this matchup. He's got a bottle now, he's actually started first plus the Syrian chains. And every time he's going to get a guaranteed chains on Adastam, he's hitting him with the side and the chains at the same time. And just poking the entire time. So, just poking. Oh wait, Super's...
He's okay, he's got the sold up, he's going to be fine. He was getting away from the aggression from Schlinks. I mean, sorry, let's take a moment just to appreciate the fact that, like, you know, Schlinks is in this Dota game too. Like, I've spoken about this before, where I feel like Schlinks is one of the most underrated, best players ever.
I'm the biggest fan of Schlinks. Like,
Yeah.
I've been saying it since I joined you guys on this side of the board. I've been saying that everyone always talks about the castaways, the mentals when they were in the Goliath gaming stack, but like Schlinks is one, if not the best, one of the best supports in our country. Like, he's always solid. Like, he's turned games by himself as a +5. He's insanely good. But on the other side, how about you've got TKC, man? Like, we can't we can compare them the entire day like this. Like, every person in their position here deserves to be there. They performed extremely well, and that's what we're watching at the moment. It's the best versus the best.
Look, I think one of the things as well is that, like, when I think back to, like, the Traxion era, you had these individuals that weren't mid laners or safe laners that were really popular at the time. Something like 2019-ish, like even maybe a little bit before. We spoke a little bit more about these individuals, but like, Traxion was one of these, like, superstars, right? But we very rarely spend a little bit of time talking about the individuals that were just great, right? Like, they've been consistently good, and for me, Schlinks is one of those people. He has been around for so long, he's been delivering results for so long, and it's a fairly selfless role, right? But there's a reason the castaways, the Adistams, the RDKs, everyone who's played alongside him in the past want to play with this player.
Yeah.
So
he's been at the top for longer than I think even Castaway. Like, Schlinks was playing before Castaway wasn't it? I think it was a year or 2 years before Travis started.
Well,
and he's been at the top during this entire duration. Like, I don't think he's ever had a bad season. The hero that he's playing today adds a lot of value to his team on the silencer, but it's a very strange hero for me to see Schlinks on. He usually he's got that glimmer cap, he's got the force staff, he's got an ability to help his team, he's got an ability to set up a kill, and I guess if you want to stop Bane Grip and Shadowfiend ultis, having someone like Schlinks pressing R is pretty reliable.
I mean, yeah, very fair point. And it's those 200 IQ players that you expect from those supports that they don't have the big items. They're not likely to get the kill that the shoutcaster can scream about, but they still add so much to it. But another one is Soup, right? Like, I mean, another individual that is kind of... this is a player that I first think back to kind of, again, 2019, 2020 kind of era, where he was playing for Goliath Gaming as a sub, and it was all kind of... You know, apparently this guy might be good. But we see that so many times where apparently somebody might be good.
Soup, we had this chat with Soup. Absolutely perfect. And with Goliath Gaming, he was subbing in the mid lane. And he was a decent mid. Like, I'm not going to take it away from him. But when we spoke to him, he kind of said, like, he was forced to play mid because no one in his friend group wanted to play mid. So that's why he started playing it.
Can I jump in for a second? And I think you're also an old school player. So back in, like, Dota 1, it was safe lane, right? Like, I had the same experience where I ended up being an off-lane player, but when I was learning my trade, I went safe lane because it's where the good players went, right? And I feel like that's the same with Soup.
What I want to get at, though, is this is the final form. Like, mid Soup was... That was the beginning. Like, pos 4 Soup, this is the final form. Like, it's taking his game to the next level. This is where he belongs, and you can see he's comfortable in it.
And a big deal, I think, for South African Dota. I mean, the fact that we have this youngster who's... you know, in Dota ages, he's middle-aged, right? But the point is, he obviously started early, and he started doing well early on, and the fact that he's here is great, and something you want to keep your eye on as well. So, as much as we talk about Castaway versus Adastam,
oh no, it's a screen.
As much as we talk about Adastam and Castaway, I think it's still important that we give it a little bit of a moment as well to Soup and the fact that he's here, the fact that he succeeded. I remember I think it was EGL 1 where I was talking about the fact that this man needed to kind of like go the next step, and well, this is much higher step than this. I mean, he definitely bent his knees.
The battle of the mids that became supports, because TKC was also a mid for many years.
True, yeah. I mean, fair point. I think in modern Dota, that's where good players go, right? And they end up finding their space somewhere else. Like, oh, I'm good, but maybe I would be better enabling or something like that. So yeah, 100%. So a very, very fair point. I mean, TKC, he's old hat, right? We already know he's good, but he is good. So
apart from that, apart from that first flash, oh, there's a kill bubble.
I mean, this is a big deal again because that Aston is such a huge player. They're bringing this ball. The snowball's there. Can Aston survive this? He's got help coming from TKC. Is he not though? They're going to slow down one. They bring in Super as well. Grove in trouble. Grove backing off. Brain Trap is there. Hit him like you mean it. But there isn't quite enough damage. Castaway scares him off. Gets the steering chains down onto Super as well. They want to try and make something of this. They know that even though they've managed to survive on Adestam, just getting a couple of kills here would be significant. But they bring down Castaway. This is a big deal. Super and Co do the damage. Grove unable to make sure that this happens. This is a monster because I was saving him for last, by the way. It doesn't get much better than this, man. And this is why Nose's hero is so worth. Does he have enough damage? Yes, he does. And that is so worth. Here's the exclamation point when we're talking about support players. Because Grove is probably the best there is, the best there ever will be in South African supports, and man did he show why. They lose Castaway, we're at mid, he doesn't care, I have a job to do, get it done! Not a hero. Does that get a round of applause from you?
No, that was amazing plays. Like, Aniston had to back away there because he was low on HP, and the reason this rotation came in by Grove is because Castaway actually isolated the Shadow Fiend spotting for the Like, he realized that this SF is bullying him a bit with the razors, and he's starting to get behind. So Grove comes in, but instant mass TP Spire energy. They get the counter kill on Castaway. Aniston did not get the XP for that though, which was big. And then, so two supports from energy got the solo XP for Castaway, and Grove got the solo XP for Adestam. So battle of the supports at the moment.
I just want to say that there's so much to watch, right? I'm watching mid lane, right? And I'm more like, how did Castaway win this game? Do you know why? He's slider fisting through the razors. Like, even when Adestam jukes it, he slider fists the razors. I mean, how absurd. Like, what are you supposed to do? This man is like some sort of, like, forget that bot that beat Denby, right? Like, just put Castaway mid against people. Let's see what happens. Man, he's good at this game.
Yeah, it was such a high value series of play because this is the battle of which mid.
Sorry, top lane. They're going to go on the new Schlinks silencer and then bring him down as well. But in comes Chosen. He wants to make sure this happens. They get the first one. They bring Castaway as well. They really want more than this. Yappa, you're in trouble, mate, because they are all coming up to you. The overall is good, but good enough. Finish with a God's Rebuke. 3-5, 6-5 lead, but the 1k advantage is on the side of NG Esports. Can't get much closer to this. Extra on mid lane.
Deppy is literally just telling his team thank you for the space at the moment. That was good series of kills. Mass TPs again. Grove just still the H stream right in front of them. But Deppy is completely free farming on the stream. Got 55 CS, 9 denies. Going armlet next. He's gonna have it pretty soon. Oh, Grove is in. Sven's coming in.
At bottom lane, they try and bring down Deppy. This is an
he's got the
kill. He is fine. He's fine. Deppy. High five me, mate. Like, that's all there is to it. Unfortunately, not much more follow-up than that. At the very least, I guess, I mean, you appreciate this. Obviously, this is an individual who can most certainly farm, or a hero that can farm very well in the off lane, or the off lane position in the triangle. So Sven doing just that. But top lane, of course, as if it was just some sort of script, Angie started applying pressure to the safe lane tower.
The one thing that's kind of like standing out me at the moment is Sin 5's wave speed is pretty poor apart from Mars, and once Ember Spirit has Maelstrom up, but until that point, their wave speed is pretty average, and that's why the top lane tower is going down. They could constantly push it in. Sven's not needs to push it with the cleave. He doesn't want to be there. He's getting hurt at the moment. He doesn't like. MD moved away from that lane the moment Legion Commander hit level 6. He was scared for rotation of the deal, and him dying at that stage is not worth. He moved into the jungle. He's got his Mask of Madness. Oh, he's got a nice stack here going as well in the jungle.
Oh, I mean, a nice stack, you say. This is tasty. Go down, says Deppy. I need some farm, and that's of course going to be Deppy, fan of Deppy, like not Deppy at all, but yeah, I was gonna say like not Deppy at all, other team literally.
Not the Deppy.
Not the Deppy. I like it. I can go with that for the rest of the game. I mean, MD is another player. I mean, I kept wanting to defend this opportunity to highlight people, but MD was, if I was correct, he was like dropped at some point, and like here he is in the grand final.
So MD was mid for them, and I think like there was I don't know what happened in that team, but there was a bit of controversy. Like Castaway went to all.
Hold that thought. We're going to fight down towards one room. Coco Rum goes through. Doesn't quite connect, but a snowball from Grove is good. TKC in a little bit of trouble. They're back up there. Is Fagan. He's caught out beautifully, but the real Deppy, he is fighting down to Grove. He's going to challenge him at the moment, pushing him back. They're all lumped up together. Good opportunity for Castaway to do some damage. We have to with them. In comes the arena. Take it from Chosen One. In comes the Flame Rim Swarm. Jump below. He's down, and that's them in trouble. The snowball there comes in, carrying Grove and TKC. You trapped too. Get out of here. Chosen One first. No, not quite yet, but 1 minute required, 2 minutes required. He got the brain summer for Lloyd, courtesy of Castaway's mid, 3-9. And let me tell you something, that matters.
Okay, number 1. Grove dodges Kunko with the snowball. 2 heroes fail. Castaway dodges Requiem with the remnants and comes back into the fight and secures the damage. Massive plays by Grove, massive plays by Castaway. Just even the last ice shot block, just ensuring that they get the Bane as well. Just high level plays, massive skill, multiple dodges, and I guess that's the power of Tuscan in the spirit.
Like, you know, take a look at the stats first thing, like the graphs. I mean, because it's... I'm missing my keys. That's how much of it is. It took me 3 attempts, but I'm here, right? But we see a 48% win probability, right? It's brought back down because there was a significant lead to XD at the time. They're all the way up to almost 70%, but it doesn't matter. Not an EGL 1 Season 2 finals. Not a chance. We're going to go back to 50-50 at 11 minutes. Bottom lane, the anger is still there from both teams, Grove as well as Chosen Ones. They want a little piece of this. I mean, hell, we keep going through. Let's keep giving them the credit. We have game 1 to do so, right? But again, Chosen One, what an absolute legend of Dota 2, and he's there right now in the thick of things as they bring down Yappa. There's, I mean, doesn't matter. They bring down 2 in the bottom lane, Energy Esports. There's really starting to struggle. But bear in mind, it's still only it's less than 1k advantage right now in Former 75, but Sinister has the advantage. This is a team that's feeling themselves, and they want to make sure that they really drive in a point. Game 1 is such an important game for best of 5s. You are saying the tempo for everything else that's to come. The speed, the pace, the aggression, everything. And as that, you're going to feel it too. Snowball comes in, he starts winding up there. He's not quite going to get it. Chosen One's there, they have the damage. Bring it to top part. Do they have this one? Can they turn it? And that's them. Line brought down by the spear and the backline. They also finish off TKC 2-0, 7-5. Man, you look good tonight. Today, whatever.
That global saved the entire fight. Adestam got saved and he popped the 1. He had enough HP, he started channeling the Requiem, and global came out immediately.
They've caught Yappa as well. He's able to get away with the press the attack, but they are looking, they are pressing, not a hero.
But the items are up. Echo Saber just arrived for the Sven, and Mars just picked up an armlet as well. Right before they went to that engagement, the Echo and the armlet were delivered. Small power spikes for 2 heroes, immediately engaged. Just extremely high level, using their little spikes, starting an item, like Echo Saber, armlet, okay, we're doing damage, let's go. Yappa needs to get to the Slick Dagger, and like, he had a really good laning stage, and 30 minutes, okay, it's still quite early, but for them to be efficient here, Yappa and Soup need to be able to start killing people. They need to get this duel into sharpshooter combo. They're going to try the Kunkka and the Bane now. Like X into duel maybe?
I mean, they need something to smoke up. They're going to make a go for it at the moment. The only one not smoked up is that Aston is showing mid, so heat the bait. Can then be happen. Schlick's too smart though. He is watching this hill. He wants to make sure that if anyone tries to get onto Castaway mid, they're going to have a problem. But Deppy's the one who wants it. He tries to get range for the X marks. The spot, it is level 3, but it's not quite high enough to find Castaway. Does it matter? I mean, it feels like it doesn't matter because even though he has X on Castaway potentially and he's got it on Schlings this time, they get the shots. They're gonna drag them back. The snowball's there as well as the water punch. Deppy in a bit of trouble. He's thinking about it. He does have the Coco run, but it looks like this will be a disengage from them. They don't want any more of it. Had the omelet, had the Coco, realized it wasn't going anywhere, and a beautiful bit of just, I would call it, like, BMT, making sure that even though you know that there's a fight on the table, that you're not going to take it.
They feel their head, they don't want to risk it. The problem with Energy's drop is there's no like catch. Like, how do we start a fight? And you've got Ember jumping forward, stuff coming in.
Now they go again. MD hitting down the tower. Jappers around as well. Can they make it happen?
It's so easy for Sin5 to jump. Like, Grove on the tusk can go forward. Like, Ember can just jump in. They've got Global behind him. We spoke about this on Raw. Ember just jumps into their faces and Schling presses off. And everything is fine on the wall for Sin5.
Beautiful bushwhack, but unfortunately hasn't led to just too much Deppy. Thinking about it, has the X down, has the front, but it's not going to latch. And guess who? He gets two! It's Chosen one. You got pin out the upper against the wall. They bring down one, and guess who? It's Deppy, the real one. He goes down the top up to the back line. They have damage, and Aston wants to make it matter though. He gets the first kill that they can return in response. It's on to the Sven, so a big deal too. But again, Sinister 5, they take an objective and they feel very, very pressuring right now. They go on to adapt him, they don't quite get him, and that's a bit of good luck. I don't think he had vision of those neutrals, which he ended up hitting with the steering chains, but if he hadn't, he caught out at Aston there too. 16-4, my man. But it's just a 2k disadvantage.
Yeah, no, it's just so much pressure, but the Shadow Fiend is farming extremely well. Addison is 7k, he's only 1k behind the Sven, and Deppy is still keeping up, even though like the pressure is on. He's still above Ember Spirit, he's still above the Mars, he's still,
of invisibility.
He's being solid, so they just need to keep their, like, not stretch this lead, because their tools are coming. DJ Commander, 400 gold of Blink Dagger. Like, Kunkka, getting him as always next. Shadow Fiend is pretty close to a beacon.
Oh, they've caught out a big one again. It's a big fish, and I mean, they keep doing this right now. Since 5, they're going to find themselves in a game up here. I mean, remember, this is the team that won the very first EGL 1 Season 1, so they won it again. Why not?
Vanquish the title. EGL is here. The champions want to stay the champions.
Yeah, I mean, they're the defenders, and they're going to catch them all. They won't stop. So go down too.
Silencer pick is actually doing
18-4. You have to give credit to energy. I mean, the fact that they're only 4k behind.
Hold it.
Yep.
Click on Silencer and observer. Please click on Silencer and look how much Inti has stolen in this game at the moment. He's
writing his thesis, not a hero. He's not started short, but he's writing it.
He's been involved in 15 out of 18 kills on a Silencer.
I mean, the point is, this individual is having a great game. I mean, how much more do you want out of a Silencer? I mean, hasn't taken up a single kill. That's gone to all the priorities, right? But I'm still looking healthy.
15. Like, okay.
I'm happy Dota, just an announcement to Speed Dota. If you want to come write, review, showing an example of how to play Silencer.
Hero in Dota 2.
There you go. We'll give you this one for free. I'm sure the admin will be okay with it. We'll, since we'll oblige. But yeah, I mean, let's be real. This man is killing it right now. Just great positional play.
This Veil pickup on the pos 5 Silencer, like, this is such a good pickup. Like, it adds majority of Ember Spirit that are dual.
Trying to make this work. Can they make something of that thing? Grove, the snowball! Ridiculous, Grove! Where are you? Castaways to the library will go down. Bushwhackers as well. And Grove, you'll pay for your sins. And not this one, MD. Time to back off because this one belongs to Energy Esports.
That's exactly what we said. Sin5, they just need the Necros lead must not get like that big because their reach is coming. DJ Commander, Blink 4 all the way, he's got it now, and what a Blink reveal, man. What a Blink reveal. But immediately, counter play by Grove. That was almost like perfect. Like, I actually thought Castaway could get a Cyrus Remnant off there, but he just popped. So, they're going for more. Very good.
No, they are not interested in giving us up cheaply right now. Soup takes quite a bit of damage. They do have another circle coming through. Damage is good on TKC. He sleeps himself up, tries to buy himself a little bit of time. He's going to wake up, go get out of here. Soup in trouble. Back, he'll take a little bit of damage from Kurt. Let's call it after. He wants to TP out, touching it out. Yes, he does. They're only here for 2.
Okay.
Singing Roshan, immediately into Rosh.
Dude,
ulti still up, very healthy.
That wasn't a call. There was no call there. There was just
Radiant's middle tower
two brilliants. They all knew as a team it was time to go. It was time to sink in one of the screws. Sinister 5, they're just bullying Roshan.
No, like, this mid tower is being so instrumental for survival.
Oh no! They're nice! They caught a very big target this time. They go to the high ground, not too sure exactly what they were looking for there. Other than escape, but they do manage to do it. They try and back people off here. Over the front line, still dealing with it. Aston. Here comes MD! MD just laid the Deppy on the run. Fan by arse! TKC is in trouble, and there's absolutely no love lost there. Oh, come on, they are killing it.
They are on it. Like, yes, they lost that one team fight, but 7k net worth, 20 minutes. Like, they're playing with such aggression, and the net worth is just getting bigger and bigger. Now they've got Aegis as well. Who took the Aegis? Did they give it to the Ember? Okay, yeah, that's much better, like, Aegis carrier. Chain is kind of weird because you want to pop your ulti early on the fight, and if you die with the Aegis, then you don't have cast strength anymore. Giving it to Castaway, 2 lives, you can just keep casting spells. Proper decision making must be fast.
This is the first time in the game where I look at the scoreboard though, and I see like the 721. And like, okay, but the net worth reflects it. This is the first time where I can like, look at the graphs and go, wow, like they actually are in this position. Because it's been amazing how Energy have been able to keep in this. And that's almost a worrying sign. When you get 21 kills versus 7, and Energy still feel like they have a shot at this, it's alarming of just how good Energy actually are. But take nothing away, because this fight, they're still doing it, man. There's something proven that can buckle under pressure. Right now, there's no pressure, there's no problem. You're looking golden. You keep that up, you have yourselves the EGL 1 Season 2 final in the bag. But unfortunately for you, it's Energy Esports, well, you have to do it up against. Yeah,
Indy is all for this. He wants to take this out.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're gonna get it. It's playing so well, man. They're just seeing like the globals coming out when they're coming out. Frank on the bus. Like how Castaway is playing. Like we see one on this Mars. This armlet build I feel is the only build that should be viable. Armlet into Blink, it allows your hero to actually do damage. Like armlet plus God's Rebuke it does a lot of damage. If you hit 2-3 heroes, it's 600-700 damage. Like you contribute so much to the team fight, but the tools are already held in. The tools are there. Boots of Travel, Maelstrom on this Ember Spirit. He's getting Lincolns just so you can't get gripped, even though they have the silencer. So that means Schling can use these even more freely in the fights because he knows this Ember can just jump in forward. Watch it, if Bane then still gets a grip off because the Lincoln just pops, but it makes Energy's life way harder.
It's looking like they have all the tools that they need right now to finish things off, but again, as said, it's Energy, right? Like you can't really take them for granted for sure. And they go there to catch another, and of course it's Yappa this time, the Legion Commander under fire snowballs as well. He never gets an opportunity to respond. Beautiful bit of work by Sinister 5. And damage on Castaway, not quite enough though. They try and run down TKC, they put him up against the tree line as well. TKC goes down to MD. And there is an X, but again, you're not allowed to snowball. I mean, you're not allowed to X, you're going to get caught by a snowball.
Rob has been so on point with these snowballs. Like, the aggressive snowballs are there at the right time, but the defensive ones are always there at the right time as well.
Top tower's under attack.
The clutch moments, and they fake backing. They waiting. Castaway's back. He went back to base for the remnant.
Oh man, what? Get up on out of here, because Radiant just fortified their structures.
Right now.
The Skunko is not, like, I've seen it work, but it just doesn't feel like it's doing damage.
One lane.
Oh,
managed to catch up Soup as well.
Let death become peace.
Yeah. Like, how do you punish that at the moment? Like, there's no grip online.
Tower is under attack.
This Legion is just duel. Yappa can't just duel a target and they burst it. Like, Hoodwink Sharpshooter is great, but if you see what Sin5 has been doing, they've always been positioning a body between the duel and where Hoodwink is, or the grip and where Hoodwink is. Like, C1, I'm going to say this openly, he's always been in the right position. He's not the target that's being dueled or gripped, and he's always positioning himself in front of that target. So the burst is not there. They got the Ember middle, he survived because C1 tapped the Sharpshooter, and it's just been like executed perfectly.
So So what happens? How do you get back into this? I mean, you have all your tier 3 standing. You can still make a go of it. You have your tier 3 standing, right? You can still turn this one around. Surely, there's a way back in this one here. Where do you go?
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under
needs
attack.
about like he needs shard because that's a big damage item for him, and he's going Silver's Edge, so that could be a play.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I guess BKB on Kunkka and he can actually just man up. I'm not sure. Like it's a hard ask at the moment. Any tools on the side of Sun 5. Kunkka goes in with the X combo, it gets snowballed. Oh wait, there's Frank going in.
Oh, they caught out the big man as well. That's Sunny. BKB's up, not gonna get that ulti off though. That's just a death ulti, and Yappa goes down as well. They're gonna lose 2 here. 10k up. What do the graphs look like? The graphs look pretty damning like 14 to 86. It looks like since 5 are going 1 up in this game.
There's still tools to come back. Going high ground is a different beast. I've seen many teams lose going high ground, but Sun 5 can just wait out Roshan. It's 2 minutes. Take Roche, push with the Sven in the front. I don't know. Like, it feels really hard at the moment. They just have answers. You saw Frank there as well. Immediately, Blink Dagger, Warrior's Punch. They get straight onto the right target. They saw the Bane on the side as well, but he blinked straight onto the Shadow Fiend. So always choosing the right target, making the right decision, and by the time Addison could get his BKB off, he had a quarter of HP left. And that's always a feel sad as well.
Yeah,
like, using BKB at that like threshold of HP.
Yeah, it was trying to be easy as well. It's not TKC, but then you get the tulip, but gets through its growth, and this time he decides it's okay, you can do some damage, we'll fight this. But guess what? Chosen One, he's in a little bit of trouble. He's backing off at the moment. Dampi as well, Yappa, they're looking to make sure they have the X on to the Mars. Not going to get quite
MB is on the
Castaway. Still interested. Grove going to snowball. It's a noteball, as they say, and they have the damage on Jumper Short. Yeah, it is. TKC face to face. Castaway. I like this. Let me out, he says. They're going to bring him down for sure. They do. Dampi now backing off because Castaway, he's hunting tier 2 towers. I don't care about that. I have right to damage. He just waits for the steering chain. The PM is real, and the PM is deserving because Sinister 5 are so good right now.
And look at Grove. Sven did a total of 1,270 damage to Hoodwink. Stop it! Can I tell you what's the funny part there?
Tell me.
Hoodwink only has 1,040 HP. 1,200 damage to a hero with only 1040 HP. Okay, crits are real. No. Passed away with the full on, hey, high five, and C1 coming in the spear. C1 has been solid this game, but the platform has been laid for him to play. Like Grove on this task has allowed every single one of his cores to play aggressive. Flinks on the silencer, same story. Guys, go run at them. I've got global, go run at them, I've got snowball. We've got you. And you can see, like, these cores are playing with no fear at all. Grove and
those cores? So Prince killing Jappa at the moment, they're going to bring him down. They get the match missile, assuming the Stormhammer on the Bane as well. Good work there, but Coco Run is good, and catch up Grove finally. Apparently he can be hit. I wasn't sure, but this time around he does actually tank a spell.
Stuff he was carrying.
Hoodwink goes down as well. Castaway. Oh no, Schlink's actually got the kill there. So hard for Sun 5 to get out on the map. They shouldn't be they should know they're on this high ground. The tower's being pushed in as well.
Under attack.
Top lane, they have a lot of pressure coming in, and of course that's the last tier 2 that's standing. So Chosen One as well as MD want to finish the job that period. Careful to get the duel up, but look at the positioning of MD. We'll take that duel damage. Thank you very much. Definitely trying to stand his ground. The God is weak there, so out comes the arena. TKC Cornelly is looking for something. Damage is good onto MD. Do they have damage? Not quite. He's able to blink away. And Energy, they kind of win that one, but they're going to be careful because Castaway is coming back in. Slide first comes back. Not going to find anyone. He wants back. He's got the street chase this time. He's going to catch up the Hoodwink. Soup in a little bit of trouble here. And Grove, he's interested, comes in. Gets a snowball. Has the Warrior punch. He's got the damage. They'll bring down Soup as well. They're going to bring down the Coco Rum as well as the X onto the side. They bring him down, but at what cost? You're gonna spear back Deppy. He, of course, is staying alive thanks to the rub, but he's gonna back off. He's gonna limp off. He's gonna be allowed to. The God's Rebuke is there. They'll bring him down. 3 for 1. That's just a support side, so my man. And there's a godlike on the Sven.
This is a rough ask for EG. They're not gonna give up. This is the grand final, but this is a rough ask. 19k, 30 minutes in, and the items are there. Like, this Tusker almost is a BKB. I don't see how they're killing this Tusk with a BKB. And yes, he's a big problem, but commit those spells on a Tusk, and now he's got BKB. He's still going to save his team. Like, Satanic is on the way for the Sven on MD. And what is Chosen One getting? Like, oh, okay, this is the blast.
Slaughtered by
I'm
the
gonna buy something
tire.
cheap that's gonna buff up our damage even more.
It's weird, right?
Such
Like
a hard game to play.
that's such a like an old school Dota player like thing to do.
I like it with Sven though, because with God Strength he gets a bonus 200% damage, and then the Vlad like gives additional on top of that. So
yeah, but it's just like that. You know, I think older players tend to have this maturity about the way that they game. Like, even though hey, we'll buy them, she buy them anyway, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate that he does that, because it's just shout out. So, I mean, we're talking a lot about like the resurrection of the South African Dota 2 community, and this is an individual that personifies it. In a way, this is the perfect person to be in this final, because he was there back in 2011 when Dota 2 became a thing, and he's still here today, showing that he's still a brilliant Dota player, and man, he's making it look good right now in this offense. But
it's the big brain. Like, you can see how he thinks about this game, and it also busts up his hero, because with this armlet, like, God Rebuke does a lot of damage. You're gonna lifesteal quite a bit for it. So MD is also going Satanic. So actually, he's got the Satanic already. I mean, he's not playing it. He's got it. Too fast, man. 32k net worth. This Kunker pick, Albert, it did not work out.
you know, it's weird, because like it's been a since the 5 game. It's hard to say what they were trying to do in NG. They've just been, I thought they've been responding to this ever since Castaway got that first blood, one-on-one. It was just, how do we deal with this situation? I said it back to now, stand by that statement. Maybe down to catch up to Yeti. He's done even more importantly, they bring down an Astum, and they bring down the TNT, and they're going to bring down the Rax, and they'll most certainly bring down game 1. Wait for it, you're going to hear it in just a moment. Energy unlikely to go out easy, but that GG is looking so clear, because right now, Sinister 5 are on fire in game 1.
Destroyed.
It's just so hard to play better, man. There's no grunt in the side of energy. There's no grunt. With grunt, I mean something that goes and stands in front and doesn't care. And no one can jump in, Ember can jump in. Oh, destruction at the
Radiant's
moment.
middle barracks.
Deppy BKBs, he's going to walk back into the fountain. And high fives are flowing, but it's high fives for Sinister 5, because right now it looks like it is a chance to claim game 1. so certain all of a sudden. They're going to bring down the mid lane, the bottom lane, Solrax. And he comes to bring down the upper. But it's deep set, but it's not enough. They bring him down. Shows one of the front lines, Castaway. He's just making sure that this looks good. And really, let's be real. Let's be honest for a moment here. Let's not mess you around. And the Daston will quite literally dies in their fountain. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take this moment to start easing you back into the fact that B is going to have to start putting his camera back on, making sure his mic is ready to go, because we have an analysis to do. Because game 1 between Sinister 5 and EG Esports in the grand final of EGL 1 Season 2, the grand final of the deciding matchup of the year. Well, right now it's being celebrated with arbitrary Mars arenas, because game 1 is most certainly decided. Sinister 5, take it in style. Woo.
So crisp. Like the tools that they had this game and how they utilized them. Like at one point I was like, this silence a pick, and then I was like, oh, this silence a pick.
Radiant's Ancient's
I
under
don't even know
attack.
why T1 is spearing away this Legion. They could probably get some deal damage from it.
Gee, man.
Yeah, the tools were just so great. Like, I'm gonna say, like, the touch for Grove, at this point, I would give him the Esports because if you want to put Legion Commander and you don't play in touch, this is what happens. Yappa got